Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from ecdesignstudios.com. For a full list of products used in all the dimensions, visit my website. Follow me on Facebook for all the latest news and Instagram for sneak peeks and to see what goes on behind the scenes. All links can be found in the description bar. Welcome to day 8 of my 12 days of Christmas. It's going by so fast. I've got so many more ideas, so next year is going to be pretty awesome. Maybe I'll get to the 25 days of Christmas next year, and start early, of course. Alright, so today we're going to be doing a fairly simple card. I'm going to fancy it up by doing some heat embossing on it, so it's not just looking like a standard printed holiday card. So what we're going to need is the Candy Cane Christmas stamp set. We're going to be using the Wishing You a Sweet Season and some of the smaller baked goods, the cookies and the oven mitts and stuff like that. We're also going to be using this piece down here too, so that's going to be fun. And from Gorgeous Grunge, we're going to be using this big light splatter texture for the background. Again, it's going to give it a little bit more dimension. You're going to need your Versamark ink pad and your embossing buddy. And I'm going to be using the Real Red Stampin' Glitter Emboss Powder and the Stampin' Up Silver Embossing Powder. And I'm going to be using Real Red and Crumb Cake for our inks. And that, I believe, is it. There's no adhesive in this video because it's all going to take place on the front of the card. So I've just got... It has 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11. I cut them at 4 1/4, scored them at 5.5, so I've got 4 top folding cards. Now, if you're nervous about doing all this directly on your card base, you can do a card. Actually, I think that might be what I'll do. I'll do card fronts for this because then that'll add another layer too, and then you just adhere that on. So, you can do all of this onto your card base, or if you feel more comfortable, do a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White and do everything on that and then adhere it on with your snail adhesive. That's what I've decided we're going to do today. So let me get all that ready and we'll get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with our heat embossing. You're also going to need a heat tool as well. So I've got one of the card fronts and I'm just going to get the embossing buddy over it. This will help with any static cling. Now I've got the Candy Cane diagonal stripe stamp from the Candy Cane Lane and the Wishing You a Sweet Season. So I'm going to do this first. Actually, no, I'm going to do the Wishing You a Sweet Season because I want this to frame around it. So I want to get this on there so it I make sure I have room. So I can ink that up with my Versamark. Just noticing where it goes because I don't want it to be crooked. And I'm going to do it towards the bottom, off the center a little bit. Here we go, and I'm going to emboss this with gold. Or no, silver. I'm sorry. This silver. I don't know why. Gold is on my mind right now for some reason. I am more of a silver person. Alright, so we've got that there. I'm just going to heat emboss it and I'll be right back. Alright, so there we are. Shiny and heat embossed. I mean, just that is pretty awesome. Anytime you can heat emboss or dry emboss onto a surface, it definitely gives it that extra something. Alright, now we are going to be using the Real Red with the stripe pattern. Make it a nice glittery candy cane. So I just want to kind of center it and stamp down because I'm going to make 2 bars. And with this one, it's kind of hard not to rock it because it is so long. Do the best that you can. And I'm going to go right at the top too and do another little bar. Even pressure and pull up. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Alright, now if you do have any boo-boos, before you heat set it is the time to fix those. So there it is before I heat emboss it, and I'll be back when I'm done with it. Alright, there it is all embossed and everything. Now I have to say that the glitter emboss powders, they are a little hard to tell when they're done. But if you look, it gets a little bit darker and you can definitely see more of a textured look, and it's, you just gotta pay attention. So alright, that's it for the embossing part of this card. I mean, just that, kind of a beautiful card. And if you had a Stamp-A-Majig or some sort of stamp positioner, you could like really take the time to get this all nice and even and precise, and then, I mean, add a bow and you've got yourself a card just with that. So let's get on the rest of our stamps. Alright, so got a couple of the stamps. I also decided I'm going to add a little bit of early espresso every now and again, maybe, possibly. I'm still not 100% sure, but it might need a little something. So right now I'm just taking the crumb cake ink and the big splatter stamp, and we're just going to do this a little lightly around the edges to make it kind of look like it's maybe like flour. You know, nothing too precise. Actually, I want to go around that way. And I am double stamping so I get a little bit more. Oh no! I rocked it and it did that. That is so sad. So sad. So how I would save this is I would then cut this here, and I would probably put a piece of real red behind it and go ahead and mount that to a card. So that is so sad. So sad. So sad. Alright, so I'm just going to grab another piece and just show you how I'm going to do the background. Hold on. Alright, so imagine the embossing is there. Let's try this again. We're going to go in like that. And in like that. And I think, you know, that'll be it. We don't need to go crazy with that. You know, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that nothing else messes up. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, get the embossing on the bottom, and then we'll do the rest. I'll be back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and did the embossing on this one, but I decided I'm going to show you another little trick while I've got you here. So whenever, now this is pretty extreme, alright? This is something. This might be a little bit more noticeable than if you just have like a little splotch. So what you're going to take is your X-Acto knife, and you're just going to, let me zoom you in so that you can kind of see what's going to be the end result with all this. You're just going to lightly scrape over the paper. If you're one of those people who do not like the sound of scraping like I do, it's kind of a nails on a chalkboard sort of thing going on, but you're just going to kind of scrape up that top layer of paint or ink. And this is something that you definitely want to do like as soon as possible. You don't want the ink to soak down into the paper, because then that's more layers of the paper that you're going to have to kind of gently scrape off. Keep in mind too, if you're going to be stamping over this, it's going to be a different texture. So it's kind of a gamble. Like if you want to wait till you're done with all of your stamping and then go and, you know, scrape over your areas, then you can, but there's gonna be a texture. So again, if it's just a little mark, then, you know, maybe it's alright. Can you kind of see it? Like you can still kind of see it's there, which is why it works better. Like I had a little mark over here and it kind of erased pretty good, but yeah, this is a goner. I messed that one up too much, but that's part of handcrafting stuff. We can't all be perfect, but I just wanted to show you that while I had you here. Good example, good knowledge. So let's get back to stamping everything else. Alright, so we got our card, we've got our splatters. So I did the, one, and then I double stamped so that it's lighter and brighter, and we've got that whole dimension. So now I'm going to get some real red, and yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the Early Espresso too. And we'll get the crumb cake out of the way because I'm pretty sure I'm done with the crumb cake. Alright, I want to start out with these three. So the tree, the oven mitt, and the star. Like, I want those to be my stars. So I'm going to do the oven mitt first. And I think I want this to be, no, I want the thumb up for some reason. Thumb's got to be up. I'm just going to stamp it there. There's that. We'll get some the Early Espresso for our little tree. And this is, I mean, you can definitely like go ahead and like map out where you're wanting everything to go before you do this. You can even like put all the ones that you want in red and put them on a bigger block so you can stamp them all at the same time. Or you can just kind of wing it. You know, I've done this card already, so I kind of know where I'm wanting everything and like what I'm wanting to be where. Alright, I'm going to do the little peppermint. Pop that over there. And let's see, I need something else over there. You know what? I'm pulling in the little gumdrop. I'm going to do some gumdrops in the Early Espresso. I think we need one right there. And right there. Let's see what else. We're going to need a candy cane, of course. Because no one can do Christmas baking without a candy cane. I'll just pop him there. And you know, I think we do need a little bit of crumb cake in here just to balance things out a little bit. So I am wanting to clean off my star. I'm going to do that real quick. That's where the Stampin' Mist and Stampin' Scrub comes in handy. Alright, I do want to start right down there. There we go. And let's also get a baking mitt. Yes, I think the baking mitt, the oven mitt. And some crumb cake. And we'll do that right up there. Alright, and I'm happy with this card, with the way it turned out. So I think that part is really cute. I like that the textured background's coming through. If you didn't want the textured background to come through, you could absolutely like mask off these areas, or you can use on the Gorgeous Grunge. Let me just grab that, or the Timeless Textures. Sorry, Timeless Textures has this little guy, so if you wanted to be a little bit more precise, you can use this one instead of the big one. I just thought like for mass production, like that would be a better way. And you didn't even have to, you know, add the texture splatters, so every card's going to be a little bit different, but I'm happy with that, so I'm going to call it. Sometimes knowing when enough is enough, it's hard because you want to keep going and going and going. I think you guys saw that in my mixed media canvas video. I just kept going and going and going. Alright, I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up and then bring out the card front and put it all together. Alright, so here we have our card front. And let's get out our snail adhesive. Get a goodly amount on there. And just kind of pop it down there. Oh no, I've got red on my fingers. Man, this is just a what could possibly go wrong? Let's have it go wrong. Alright, keep your baby wipes handy so that you can clean your hands in between, because you know what, whenever you're working with white, this is what's going to happen. So you can see my little smudges. Guess I messed it up. But ignore those. This is the finished card. Learn from my mistakes. So happy to be an example of what to do and what not to do. So that is it for today's card. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like and subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, welcome back. Nice to see you again. If you have questions, want to see a specific Stampin' Up! Product demo, or interested in hosting a virtual party, feel free to contact me or leave a comment. You can contact me through my website. PDFs of all current Stampin' Up! Catalogs can be found on my website, but if you want your own paper copy that you can hold in your hand and mark up and circle and star and all of that fun stuff, all you have to do is place an order with me and I will send those to you for free. So that's it for today. Until next time, happy crafting and happy holidays. Bye!